they voted 6, 7, 8 times, as much as they could in the local area. Some of the people went back, I guess they said 28 times in one day to vote at different places with, numerous votes. But they can't put in 1,000 because it wouldn't be it wouldn't look right. They're very smart. They go in with 5 votes, 6 votes, 7 votes, and then they go to another one. But it adds up to millions of votes.
Yeah, Trump's mouth wasn't even moving in that clip, so it might have been a phone call. There you have it. Former President Donald Trump went on some even more shady conspiracy theory nonsense on the Shady Conspiracy Theory podcast hosted by Dinesh D'Souza, a stain on our nation, to double down on the big lie and take it to new absurd levels that immediately all of his supporters will swallow up as fact. Of course, there is no evidence of this whatsoever. People voting 28, 38 times. It doesn't even make logistical sense in the course of a day. Do they not break for lunch? It doesn't make any sense. And these claims have been rejected in court, of course, time and time again by judges that Trump instated himself. This traitorous insanity, though, unfortunately has, of course, bled into the GOP in a more wide manner. So many candidates, the vast majority of Republicans running in the November 8 midterms you have to go vote for to save our democracy, quite literally, are planning to follow Daddy Trump's lead, according to a leading Republican lawyer. There are people running for office, including offices that administer elections in battleground 2024 states, who have at least indicated they don't believe election results or have faith in the system, and they would not certify results, if they in fact were in positions of authority in the 2024 election, and they're running for those positions of authority. Said Ben Ginsberg, except the part that I ad-libbed, who represented multiple Republican presidential campaigns over the last few decades. Literally, they're saying if we were in charge of elections, we wouldn't certify them, and please elect us to be in charge of elections. The end of democracy as we know it, literally hanging in the balance in less than 2 weeks. The next slide. How the voters actually vote will say a lot about the 2024 election, but also just the future of the country.
He's a GOP lawyer.
Correct. GOP lawyer saying right now it's not about party. Right now it is not about the issues that divide the parties historically. It's about putting your foot down for democracy and saying we want to live in a country where the will of the people, the whole purpose of how this country was set up to be a government by, of, and for the people, might be gone in 2 weeks with hundreds of election-denying candidates on the ballot. And a lot of them are gonna win. There's just statistically no way that's not gonna happen. But if we all go out and vote, and just vote for decency, for democracy, we can mitigate the amount of damage and maybe have a chance to still have a country where our voices actually matter at all.
Yeah, so at the state level and at the national level, they affect vote counting, right? So you got the national guys who tried to decertify the vote on January 6th. So there's hundreds of those guys overall now running for Congress. And there was tons of them on that day as well, on January 6th. And they're saying, yeah, from now on, if we lose, we didn't lose. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna just steal the goddamn election. And so then they say, on the other hand, there's a little bit of inflation. Okay, but wait a minute, inflation is worldwide. So the European Union has inflation way worse than us. So because of global inflation that has not necessarily anything to do with what anyone is doing in America, let alone Democrats or Biden, I'm gonna give away democracy. Well, how are you gonna vote next time then? How do you know if your vote counted? These guys are literally, the guy in the Secretary of State candidate Fincham in Arizona is saying, oh, if I was Secretary of State, Biden wouldn't have won in Arizona. But they're like, yeah, but he got more votes. And he's like, I don't care, he wouldn't have won it.
And he's literally a guy that dresses and looks like Colonel Sanders. I mean, that alone should be disqualifying with this ridiculous straw hat and little bow tie. And then he literally is saying democracy doesn't matter, like probably what Colonel Sanders' opinion would be. A chicken man literally might be running the elections in Arizona. It's wild. Who are these goons more broadly? How many of them are there? Where are they? That are set on destroying American democracy? There's far more than you think. Look at this chart right here. The red dots represent people who denied the results of the 2020 election who are currently running for office. All but one GOP candidate in Arizona Juan Ciscomani is an election denier. He's the only one who is not. Most Republican candidates in the South have denied the 2020 election results. You can see the red dots: Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Arizona. The vast majority of them, all red dots, all election deniers. This is a huge chunk of our country that is about to go into the hands of people who literally are about to end American democracy as we know it. Oh, is that all? Yeah, but I don't like voting in midterms. I don't want to get out for 2 hours and vote or mail something in. Mail it in. Check your voting registration. Go right now to any vote.gov, vote.org, any site, whenweallvote.com. Register or check your registration. Find out where you're going and make sure you do the very bare minimum to help save American democracy. There's people like Carrie Lake running for governor of Arizona, an election denier, says she will not accept results unless they're super secure and super safe according to her own standards, not according to the Secretary of State's standards. Doug Mastriano, Blake Masters, who, as we covered yesterday, was encouraged by Trump on the phone to push the big lie. He's on the phone going like, I'm talking to the president. Oh, go against American democracy? Yeah, I'm on the phone with him. I'm on the phone with this orange menace that is trying to tear down our democracy still currently, worse and worse every day. And Mark Fincham, the Colonel Sanders of democracy destroyers.
So on Secretary of State races alone at the state level, you should all go vote. Vote against Republicans completely. Giant percentage of them say that they're not in favor of democracy. What more do you need?
There are 10 Republican election deniers running for Secretary of State. 10 states in the union have people that are running for Secretary of State who they oversee the election and they are denying elections themselves. It's literally the job.
Yeah, and shocking that a huge percentage of them are in the South, where they say, hey, you know what, maybe we use force instead. Maybe we don't let certain people vote, or maybe we don't count certain people's votes. Okay, we just decide, oh, we won the election. Gee, I wonder if I've ever seen that before in the South. So,
and of course, the way they're trying to do it is by turning the tables and pretending that it's the Democrats that are doing this. Tucker Carlson not being able to avoid getting in on the fun, trying to make this absurd argument.
The Democratic Party has such contempt for voters and for democracy itself, and so much confidence in its ownership of the media and of big tech, that it no longer has to try to win your vote. The machine keeps working. It's not about the person, it's about the party. It's not about the individual, it's about the group. And to prove it, they can even run mentally defective candidates who can barely speak and not only expect them to win, but expect you to accept the outcome no matter how transparently absurd it is.
There you have it. You have a man lying and saying that the election results will be rigged before the votes are even cast. The same thing Trump did with the massive influence Tucker Carlson has. And then again, the horribly offensive statement saying running mentally defective candidates because somebody has a current speech translation problem due to a stroke. I grew up with a severe speech problem my whole life, a stutter and a disfluency. It sometimes comes back once in a blue when I'm tired and I can't say things. Does that make me mentally defective? Or is it the opinions, the absurd, offensive, democracy destroying, decency destroying opinions that you spew on the air every day? That makes you, Tucker Carlson, mentally defective. That makes anyone who supports something that obviously destroys the very basis of this country mentally defective. That's the definition of words, not whether somebody stumbles while trying to get them out.
Yeah, and we're having a conversation about mentally defective politicians when you've got Donald Trump and Herschel Walker on your side. Okay, good luck with that conversation. But the last thing, guys, is really important. What he's telling his audience is, look, you all know you wouldn't vote for Fetterman or Warnock. You know that that means by definition they can't win. So if they win and you know they can't win, they must have cheated. And you're thinking, well, that's absurd. Just because the right-wing audience doesn't want them, that doesn't mean they can't win. But that audience doesn't know that. They genuinely think that. Well, of course I wouldn't vote for Fetterman. Nobody would vote for Fetterman. If Fetterman wins, they definitely cheated. They definitely believe that kind of absolutely moronic talking point that Tucker is saying. Tucker doesn't believe it, but he thinks his audience is stupid. So that's why he says to them, oh yeah, if they ever vote against a Republican, remember, they were cheating, let's not count it.
And none of them are mentally defective at all. I mean, not people pretending to be officers of the law, and I know that because I have a toy badge myself. And so
there you
Herschel
go.
Walker and I, same team.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.